Good evening, ladies and gentlemen. This is Mayor Billy Knight. It's time for our Real City Chat. You know, I have a gentleman with me now that I've really been wanting to do this for some time because, you know, it's just so much information that our people are not aware of and don't know. And, you know, being an old educator, I'm always about trying to inform and educate our people because if you know better, you do better. And so Judge Packard, he's my friend, my brother, and Judge has agreed to come. Matter of fact, he requested that he come to do this, and I'm happy that he did, and now we've agreed to do this every 2 or 3 months.
Yes, we did.
So Judge, thank you for coming, man, and let me just say first of all, how proud I am of you and your wife and your family and what you're doing. Your wife is working with our library, and I want you to know how proud I am of you guys and how much you're doing for the community.
Thank you so much.
And so just thank you for that. And,
you know, we're proud to serve the community. One thing that hurts that's warm and dear to my heart is I'm serving my community. You know, this is Morris Point. This is where I was raised, and this is where my people are. Okay. You know, and Jackson County as a whole, now that Morris Point has branched out into every other city as well. So I'm serving my people, and I love the fact that I'm able to give.
Yeah, well, it's a show, man, because you not only show what you're passionate about, what you're doing.
I am.
And Judge, tell me, what are some of the biggest concerns you have that our people really need to know about?
Well, I want to start with the overall view of the Justice Court. You know, a lot of times when I have a lot of people coming into Justice Court and they really don't understand how Justice Court is set up. And I want to thank you for giving me this opportunity to come out and reach as many people as I can to explain this. Justice Court is set up from two sides. You know, we have the criminal side of Justice Court and we have the civil side of Justice Court. And the criminal side, we deal with the state troopers, law enforcement, we deal with the sheriff department, we deal with marine resource, we deal with the game warden. And there's a lot of things that go on inside that criminal side. And a lot of people come to me and say, well, I don't have to worry about you because I'm never going to get in trouble. Well, a lot of times you could be out here fishing right out here in Morris Point, and if that game warden writes you a ticket for something, and those laws change, believe me, a lot, that ticket comes to my courtroom. Hunting, fishing, game warden, marine resources, state troopers, sheriff departments, all of those tickets come before me. On the civil side, I also deal with the rent evictions, money suits. All of these things have a cap on them of $3,500. Also deal with the unfortunate, dealing with protective orders, which is domestic violence. A few other things on the criminal side, and on the civil side is the protective orders. So there is a wide range of things that the Justice Court actually does and will deal with and needs to be brought to the public as to what they can and cannot do in Justice Court.
Mm-hmm. Judge, talk about the things that affect families. I remember we had a conversation some time ago where you said the thing that bothers you so much sometimes when you have to evict.
Yes.
In particular, sometimes it's even on weekends.
Yes. Well, fortunate for me, I have a fantastic constable, Constable Calvin Hutchins. He and I, we work together a lot. All of my constables are great, but I work with Calvin quite a bit. Mm-hmm. And he and I are usually working together. Now, I do have to make these evictions, but we try to do them the best way we can and with the least amount of inconvenience. If the child is in school or something like that, then we try not to interrupt that. But we have to do it because the landlords have rights to. Mm-hmm. You know, so those are some of the things that we have to be considerate of, and it's a double-edged sword. Sometimes you can and sometimes you can't. But those are some of the hurtful things that when you have to put out a family, and sometimes those dates, the law states that there are a certain amount of dates. I do have a leeway in there, but the law does have a specific dates that are set up, and it's usually 7 days.
And any kind of recommendation you give our families?
And, you know, I want to tell them a lot of times what I want to tell them is to come to court. Once you get an eviction letter and once this eviction process starts, a lot of people don't understand or don't know their dates because they don't actually come to court. It may not work in your favor a lot of times, but at least you have the opportunity to voice your opinion and know the time frame that you're dealing with.
So what happens if they don't come to court?
If they don't come to court, you know, I usually have to move forward with a judgment, a default judgment.
And because you didn't hear their side, then you make it.
I have no other choice. That's a default judgment. I have no other choice but to move forward with the rules that the law has set aside for that to happen.
Give me a circumstance where you have to split a child from the families. That happens, I guess, sometimes.
Well, I really don't deal with the actual custody of children.
Okay.
However, on a protective order, sometimes I will not allow one party or the other one not to go back to that house for at least 30 days. I like to call it a cool-off period a lot of times, but I will restrict one of the parties not to have contact. And a lot of times if they want to have, because they do have children, then I'll allow that exchange of the child on the weekends to take place at law enforcement facilities and departments. And therefore they have a smooth transition in the process of those 30 days. So both parties get to share the child and a communal place where both parties are comfortable, where they can, make the transition.
Sure. What kind of education? With our kids? I mean, when kids are not in school, obviously they can't learn if they're not there. I guess when you have to have these issues, domestic issues at home, sometimes it causes where the kid is not in school because of whatever happened in the court.
And I'm glad you brought that up, because this domestic violence thing plays way outside of the two individuals that are having problems. It spreads over into the children, which spreads over into the school system, which spreads over into the community. And a lot of times when you look at our adolescents, our youth, or whatever, you can trace it back to some type of disruptive or some type of possible domestic violence at home. So I'm very mindful of that, even when I do stuff like that, to make sure that, number one, I'm making the best decision possible, not only for the couple, but for the children as well.
Absolutely. Mm-hmm. Because kids have no problem with no saying so what happens with mom and daddy.
Especially if they are at a very young age. Now, a lot of times when I have some teenagers, then, they are more prone to understanding what's going on. But a lot of times with the babies, they have no idea. And so they grow up or they live in that type of environment where I'm separating parents. Yeah. And that's very mindful, especially around this time of the year, right after the holidays, or sometimes usually right before school starts, or even when I'm evicting somebody around the holidays. I try not to do an eviction on Christmas and the first day of school or things like that. And I try to be very considerate of their child if they have them.
Yeah. Judge, look here, we're just touching the surface.
We're just scratching the surface.
So, Judge, would you agree to come back?
Yes, I will. I want to talk on a few things. I want to talk about the driver's license. I think we need to think about this driver's license. I want every child out there to start applying for these driver's licenses. I'm getting a lot of that as well, with no driver's license and never taking the test. Mississippi State Personnel website does have a practice exams on their website, where if you are about to take your driver's license test, you can get on there and take that practice exam, and it gets you a little bit better equipped to deal with the tests that they have. Everything's in front of the computer now, and there's a lot of help out there. So I want to stress that. Also, Mississippi Mobile driver's license, you can download the driver's license on your cell phone, and that is acceptable through the Department of Public Safety. That is acceptable along with your insurance cards. So if you got your cell phone, you should have your driver's license and you should have your insurance. So
you have no excuse.
You have no excuse.
Everybody got a cell phone.
Well, I hope they do. This day and age we live in, they should.
Some 5-year-olds with cell phones. So he coming with cell phones.
Yeah, they coming with cell phones. Yeah, a lot of them don't know where to get the money from, but they got cell phones.
I promise you, I really want you to come back and let's do this on a regular basis, because I think our people need to have this kind of information. Because my thing is, I like to try to take away the excuses that I don't know. Right. So if you're telling them, and hopefully they'll pay attention and adhere to what you're saying, and help save themselves sometimes some trouble.
Save yourself some trouble, and it'll save you some money. Yeah. A lot of times, a lot of money has been spent in justice court where you don't have to, do it. One last thing. A lot of people get these citations, and whether it's the state trooper, sheriff department, the first date they see on there, they think that's their court date. Actually, that's your plea date. Okay, that's the date that you show up in court, and you either plead guilty or not guilty. At that time in justice court, if you plead guilty, then I would move on and set court cost fines or even possible jail time. But if you plead not guilty, then we set a court date up. And that's the opportunity that you have to come back before a prosecutor and the defense attorney, or if you want to represent yourself, as justice court may do, and have your day. So I always tell people, you do have an opportunity to come and tell me what's going on, but besides just not showing up at all. Please show up.
Be your advantage to come. If not, you got to make the call on your own.
Make the call. My hands are tied.
Yeah.
My hands are tied.
George,
Thank you.
thank you so much, man.
Thank you,
Again,
man.
I appreciate all the work you do.
No, I appreciate what you do. You've helped this city, and we're going to continue to grow. Thank you.
Absolutely.
Thank you.
Have a good day.